Hey guys, this is Shane and welcome to my Curator of the Lost channel. Today, I want to talk about avoiding a potential pitfall or trap in book selling, in actually selling an item. And this is it's evidenced by it's what reason I thought about doing this video. I'll pop it up here. I just sold a set of these Russian language books from like the Defense Language Institute. And I took a best offer of $300 for them, but I'd been asking $599, $600 for them. There was 32 in this set. And the trap is that I'd been sitting on these things for months, and I had $32 in them. I paid $1 each at an estate sale. And I have a bright point on this too later, but I had 32 of these that I had bought $1 each. I listed them. And, I thought that I thought a reasonable price was 20 bucks each. They sit there, I got some offers. I thought they were lowball. I said no. And finally I got this offer for 300 bucks. And I had to tell myself, look, you're looking for something. The market is telling you what these are worth. And that's ultimately it, right? That's what we as booksellers think something's worth, or sellers in general. The market tells us something is worth what someone will pay for it, right? But booksellers in particular, I think a lot of us come from book collecting, from a love of books. So sometimes if we love something, if we think it has a certain value, it's hard for us human nature, it's hard for us to admit that maybe we're wrong or it's not worth what we think it's worth, right? So that's the trap to avoid, is to not get caught up into this confirmation bias loop. And, sometimes the market will tell us what something is worth. Now, there's all kinds of pitfalls in this, and I think it's why it's worth kind of picking apart the different pieces. I'm not talking about, this doesn't necessarily apply to what I would call thin items. This is stuff that, it's a very niche market. It is very valuable, but, there's maybe a dozen people in the world that want it, right? Those kinds of things are different. You got to price on what you think, and it might take a little while. This is not talking about, sometimes you start high and you see if you get that lucky sale, and then you can back it down, right? So you don't want, but in this case, I started at what I thought was a decent price, $5.99. I had comps that showed that these things at different numbers of these, and this was almost a complete set, $20 a piece was reasonable. So I think the things that's working against it are, $600 is a lot. It is a niche thing, Russian language. They were older volumes from the 90s. Still lots of value. They were unused, these Russian language. But I always sell things with best offer turned on. And again, sometimes it drives you crazy if you don't have the auto reject on, because you get people that lowball. I'm not talking about people that lowball you, but I think were reasonable offers earlier, and I turned them down. And I think the reason I turned them down was because I only had $32 in these. I think the reason I really was turning down my early offers were I was still thinking these things are worth 20 bucks each. They're worth $600, not worth $300. But I got this offer day before yesterday, $300. They had been sitting on my pile for months, 6 months at least, maybe 9 months. I'm still gonna make $30, $32, and it's $300. Shipping was on top of that. I'm still gonna make good on these. I'm still gonna make like $200 on these profit. Let them go, box them up, let somebody use them, enjoy them. And that's the trap. It's not to fall in love with our stuff, to understand there's all these things that we can do, that we have to do on pricing, best offer, try to maximize price, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately something is worth what somebody will pay for it, and not to fall into this confirmation bias loop and not selling something because it's not getting what we perceive as the value. So, I think the takeaways on how we do this, and is what I do is, if you have thoughts about, what something really is worth, it's okay to start higher. And if you get that buy, boom, it's good. But if it sits there for a month or whatever your time frame is, and you're not getting any nibbles, then you need to really think about your pricing and pull your pricing down. have best offers turned on. And you can also, with those best offers, that sometimes gauges the market, right? Gauges what something is really worth. I will say that another note, and this is weird how this happens on eBay. I had another set of these. I had the set of 32, but then I had 5 that were at this 5 or 6, 5. Let me see. There's 5 of them, okay, that were actually from a phase 3 course, not just, and it was a different year. I don't know. These were older. These were 1983s, right? The other ones were like 1990-ish. Anyway, I had these because since they were kind of a separate edition and a phase 3, I had these listed separately. I had these listed for $20 each, $99.99. The day after, the best offer was these sold too, to someone different. I'm like, what? That is, eBay is weird how it works that way sometimes, right? And I don't know on that, I don't know if it was like somebody was looking at the other one and then they saw them sell and then they decided, well, those sold, or if because the other one sold, it kicked it off a little bit into the, the search and promoted it more. Who knows? It's just some of the weird coincidence that you see in eBay. But anyway, I thought I try not to, fall into this trap, but it's something that I found myself doing on this particular item, and I let it go. So, and I'm happy with it. It's a lot of space. Yeah, 32 of them are gone. I made good money on them. Somebody's going to enjoy them, and these others sold too. So, anyway, it's a trap that we can all do, and you have to keep all of these things to maximize profit, get what it's worth, all that. But we also have to have discipline on looking at our pricing, and when something starts to get that tail where it's not selling, the important thing is, why is it not selling? Is it truly something that there's only one person in the world that wants it, or do we really have it overpriced? And if we're getting a lot of those best offers, and we're not getting, we're not taking them, and all those best offers are kind of in the same spot, that's a good indication that we're overestimating the value of it. So anyway, that's it. See cool, buy cool, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Find my clicker. If you ever hear the clicker at the end, I have this little remote that's supposed to turn off the recording. So that's what it is. So talk to you soon. Bye.